Well, first, I know she's a tough competitor. She was close, I think I think she got to top or 31 in the world. And I played her 3 years ago in Cincinnati, and I knew what to expect and knew it was going to be a tough physical match. And yeah, I definitely think she's a bit underrated. She's someone you don't really want to play, especially on clay. Before the match, the main thing my coach reiterated was that her biggest strength, literally, word what he said, is her biggest strength is her bravery, and it showed today.
Mayar Sherif walked off Court Suzanne-Lenglen on Thursday having lost. But the way she left that court told a completely different story. 1 hour and 50 minutes. That's how long it took the world's best female tennis player, Coco Gauff, to close out a match she was supposed to win comfortably. 1 hour and 50 minutes of grinding, fighting, and refusing to make anything easy for the defending champion. The scoreline read 6-3, 6-2 in Gauff's favor. But anyone watching knew those numbers were lying. Because Mayar Sherif doesn't play tennis to make it easy for you. She plays to make you earn every single point. And on Thursday in Paris, she made Coco Gauff work harder than almost anyone else has this entire year. Sherif came into this match ranked 129th in the world. She had already won 4 matches at Roland Garros this year, pushing through qualifying before reaching the second round of the main draw. Most players at her ranking would have been grateful just to be there. Sherif came to compete. What happened inside that match is the reason people are still talking about it. Sherif broke Gauff's serve 4 times. She won 72% of her second serve return points. She won 15 out of 21 points when she approached the net. These are not the statistics of a player who showed up hoping to survive. These are the numbers of someone who had a plan and nearly pulled it off. After the match, Gauff didn't just acknowledge Sherif. She praised her in a way that felt genuine, specific, and earned. She said Sherif was one of the toughest opponents she had faced all year, alongside Alina Svitolina, who had beaten Gauff in the Rome final just weeks earlier. She called Sherif underrated, and then she said something that matters even more than any ranking or result could. She said her coaching staff had given her a scouting report before the match. And the main point in that report, the one thing her coach highlighted as Sherif's most dangerous quality, was not her forehand, not her movement, not her tactical game. It was her bravery. Think about what it means for a coach preparing for a Grand Slam match to look at the data, watch the footage, and come back with the conclusion that the most dangerous thing about this opponent is how brave she is. That is a level of mental respect that most players never receive from opponents at this stage of tournament. Gauff went on to say that Sherif's greatest strength showed up exactly as expected during the match. Long rallies, relentless pressure, physical demands that pushed Gauff harder than the score suggests. And Gauff was honest about it. Despite winning relatively clearly, she acknowledged those long games, the physical toll, the moments where Sherif made her doubt every shot she was about to play. Sherif heard those words. And when asked about them afterward, she said something that reveals exactly who she is as a person, not just as an athlete. She said that hearing those words made her very, very proud. But then she immediately connected it back to what she had been going through. Because the version of Mayar Sherif that showed up in Paris is not the version that has been showing up over the past several months. She admitted openly that she had been struggling mentally, that she had strayed from the focused, locked-in mindset that had taken her to a career-high ranking of 31 in the world. She had started worrying about defending points, about her ranking slipping, about whether she would even make the cut for Grand Slam events. That kind of thinking is poison for a tennis player. And she knew it. But something shifted in Paris. Halfway through qualifying, she found it again. That spark, that clarity, the feeling of walking onto a court and knowing exactly who you are as a competitor and not needing anyone or anything to confirm it for you. By the time she walked out to face Gauff, she was calm. She said that even when she fell behind 0-3 in the first set, she did not panic. She stayed present. She contrasted that with a match 2 years earlier on that same Court Suzanne-Lenglen, when she lost the first set 6-0 to Madison Keys and couldn't find her footing. She said she had doubts then, uncertainty, a loss of belief. None of that was present on Thursday. She said she knew she had the level. She enjoyed the fight. That is an enormous statement. To enjoy a fight against the #1 player in the world, on a Grand Slam court with a packed crowd watching when you are ranked 129th and have spent months working through a difficult stretch mentally. That is not something that happens by accident. That is something built over years of choosing to stay in the fight when it would have been easier to step back. And the fight Sherif has been in goes far beyond tennis. She is the first Egyptian woman to win a match at a Grand Slam. The first Egyptian woman to break into the top 100. The first to reach the top 50. The first to compete in tennis at the Olympics. The first to win a WTA title. She surpassed the previous highest-ranked Egyptian in tennis history years ago. She has done all of this largely on her own, without the institutional backing that most players at her level receive. She said something in Paris that deserves to be heard clearly. She said she feels she deserves more attention and support from the Egyptian Federation and the Olympic Committee. She said they have one professional tennis player competing at this level, and they are not supporting her, not even on social media. She said she doesn't know what message that sends to younger Egyptian players who might be watching and dreaming. She called it depressing. And then, because that is who she is, she said it is what it is, and she keeps focusing on herself. That restraint, that refusal to let external circumstances consume her, is exactly the quality Gauff's coach identified before the match even started. Bravery is not just about what happens in the big moments. It is about continuing to show up, to compete, to build something meaningful in an environment that does not always make it easy for you. There was something almost cinematic about her match on Thursday. The crowd at Roland Garros was firmly behind her. Egyptian handball star Yahia Omar, who had just won the French championship with PSG earlier that week, was in the stands watching. She said she knew people were tuning in from home, and rather than feeling the weight of that expectation, she said she felt calm. She enjoyed knowing people were there. She played for them and for herself at the same time. Even Gauff's coach came up to her after the match and acknowledged how tough she had been. That is the kind of moment that stays with a player, the quiet recognition from someone on the other side of the net who had just spent 2 hours trying to figure out how to stop you. Sherif will now head to Spain to train before flying to Italy for a WTA 125 event. She will contest qualifying at Wimbledon next month. She wants to push her ranking back inside the top 100 to qualify for the big summer hardcourt events in Canada and Cincinnati. She said her tennis is better than it has ever been. She said physicality is something she can control and something she will work on. She said she is motivated. This is what the next chapter looks like for Mayar Sherif. Not defined by a second-round exit at Roland Garros, but shaped by the understanding that the level is there, the belief is back, and the work is just beginning. She left Paris proud. She should be.